2 years later, our bathroom still looks brand new. If it says Bath Fitter, you know you're getting a first-rate product and a smart investment for your home.
Bath Fitter, North America's top choice for one-day bath remodeling. Call 1-866-615-2004.
Welcome to World News. Tonight, show and tell. Test results are in on the health of America's biggest banks. What happens now? Out of control, a wildfire explodes in Southern California's heat and winds, forcing thousands to flee. A woman scorned. Elizabeth Edwards reveals new details of life after her husband's affair. Rescue mission. We get rare access to the space shuttle crew about to go on a risky journey to save the Hubble telescope. And a baseball superstar hit with a 50-game suspension.
From the ABC News headquarters, this is World News with Charles Gibson.
Good evening. For weeks now, they have caused speculation, anxiety, and yes, even stress. Those exhaustive stress tests on America's best-known banks, some mired in losses and limping along on bailouts. Well, tonight we get the results, showing what shape the financial institutions are in and how they'd fare if the recession gets worse. The government says 10 of the 19 banks put to the test need to come up with a total of $74.6 billion in additional capital. But where will they get that money? Betsy Stark is here again tonight. Betsy.
Charlie, the poor financial health of big banks and fears about their financial health have been a serious drag on the economy. But with these stress test results today, the administration believes it has taken a decisive step toward restoring public confidence and putting these banks on more solid footing. The drip of news about which big banks are strong and which are weak finally ended today.
These actions today are going to bring an unprecedented level of transparency and clarity to the health of the nation's banking system.
The chairman of the Federal Reserve said the results should provide considerable comfort. 150 bank examiners scoured the books of the nation's 19 biggest banks to see what would happen if unemployment hits 10.3%, home prices drop another 22%, and the recession drags on into 2010. 9 have enough cash right now to ride out the downturn. Of the 10 that do not, Citi needs $5.5 billion more, Bank of America $33.9 billion, and Wells Fargo $13.7 billion. The total shortfall is $75 billion, a big number, but some worry not big enough, especially if unemployment expected to hit 8.9% tomorrow continues to move higher.
True stress test of the system is more like 11 to 12% unemployment rate. So I think you have to stress these balance sheets a lot harsher to really solve all the problems.
With the results now in, weak banks will have 6 months to come up with the cash regulators say they need. The government says they can either raise the money from private investors, sell off assets, give the government a larger direct stake in their banks, or ask the government for more cash.
Some of the banks are going to find it easy to raise the money over the next 6 months. Some will find it exceedingly difficult and will need new TARP money.
Regulators hope all this scrutiny and disclosure will mark a turning point in this economic crisis, giving Wall Street the confidence it needs to invest in banks and giving banks the cash cushion they need to make more loans to Main Street. Whether it turns out that way and how quickly will depend on how well the economy fares from here, Charlie.
So about half the banks will need more money as insurance against a worsening recession. About half the banks are fine the way they are. I gather some of those banks, fine the way they are saying, well, now they're ready to give back the bailout money, the TARP money that they got from the government.
Yeah, some of the strongest ones have been saying for a while they'd really like to do that, among them Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, saying they'd like to get out from under the government's thumb, and as we know, Charlie, it would give them, among other things, the latitude to pay their executives whatever they wish.
All right, Betsy Stark reporting tonight, thanks. And while on the topic of billions, the White House today played up its proposed cuts to the federal budget. That budget weighs in at $3.6 trillion. The White House wants to trim a tiny fraction, $17 billion. The president arguing that seemingly small amount is a major step in the right direction. Jake Tapper is at the White House.
President Obama today spotlighted 121 programs he seeks to cut from his budget, saving $17 billion.
Outside of Washington, that's still considered a lot of money.
And he urged the press corps to treat those cuts seriously.
$17 billion taken out of our discretionary non-defense budget, as well as portions of our defense budget, are significant. They mean something.
Of the president's $3.6 trillion budget, the proposed $17 billion in cuts amount to a reduction of less than 1/2%. On the campaign trail last year, then Senator Obama seemed to belittle the impact of his opponent's call to cut earmarks, $18 billion worth.
Earmarks account for 0.5% of the total federal budget, but it's not going to solve the problem.
The White House today said that the $17 billion in cuts is just a start.
Let's do this. You and I walk out on the street today. Let's interview maybe a dozen people and ask them whether they think $17 billion is a lot of money.
We did, and they do.
Does that sound like a lot to you or a little? I'll start with you.
Sounds like a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
But after we pointed out that $17 billion is less than 1/2% of the budget,
that doesn't seem like a lot when you put it that way.
Yeah, tiny. Obviously, really, really small.
most Republicans today assailed the cuts as minuscule.
It's as if this were the Gobi Desert or the Sahara Desert, and you came along and took a few pieces of sand off the desert.
But fiscal conservatives say those criticisms ring hollow.
I don't think the Republican Party has any credibility on spending restraint anymore. Deficits soared to hundreds of billions of dollars under President Bush.
And Charlie, whether you think this is a lot of money or a little money, President Bush attempted many of these very same cuts last year and was blocked by Congress. Today on Capitol Hill, Democrats greeted President Obama's proposed cuts less than enthusiastically as well. Charlie? All right, Jake Tapper at the White House, thanks to you. And as for household budgets, consumers continue to cut way back on borrowing. Consumer credit plunged in March at the fastest pace in 18 years as people put away their credit cards. Consumer credit was down 5.2%. That's a drop of more than $11 billion in borrowing. As we broadcast last night, it looked as if the early season wildfire around Santa Barbara was calmed down. And then suddenly last evening, the winds kicked up and the fire was out of control, raging through highly populated areas. Dozens of homes quickly vanished in flames, and thousands of people have been evacuated. Brian Rooney is in Santa Barbara tonight.
It had been just a slow-moving fire in the brush before 50-mile-an-hour winds turned it into this. Houses burned along ridgetops and deep in the mountain canyons. It was too hot and too fast for firefighters to even try saving every house.
There are these walls of what looked like about 300-foot-high flames right in front of the house. The embers were going like this right in front of our front window.
As the evacuation expanded, homeowners grabbed what they could and packed it into the family car, even a trailer. Some dragged suitcases down the street.
It's not even going one direction right now. It's going everywhere. That's fire in the sky.
The fires were fed by what are called sundowner winds, and yesterday was a classic sundowner. Superheated air inland built up twice the usual amount of pressure, and when the afternoon sea breeze petered out, the inland air came roaring over the mountains, pushing flames into populated canyons.
The effect is like putting a bellows to the fire. It's just pumping oxygen into it and causes the fire to increase and move rapidly.
Firefighters also just got out of the way. Abandoned hoses show how quickly they left. But 3 firefighters were burned when they were overrun in the night. Their truck is still where they left it on a burned-out peak.
They experienced a sudden firestorm and the heat radiation, which caused a lot of their burn injuries.
Today, gas company workers shut down flaming mains where all that was left was the chimney, and even the mailbox had melted.
It's been relatively calm all day, same as it was yesterday, but now you can see smoke plumes building high up in the mountains. This is the time of day when the winds can shift, moving from uphill now to downhill, and it can whip up the flames. The next few hours, Charlie, will tell us whether tonight will be a night like last night.
All right, Brian Rooney in Santa Barbara, California tonight, thanks to you. A quiet Connecticut town, home to one of America's most prestigious colleges, is virtually shut down tonight with a murder suspect on the loose. Students at Wesleyan University are being told to stay inside after a female student was shot to death at an off-campus bookstore yesterday. The killer was apparently a stalker. Stephanie Sy is in Middletown, Connecticut.
The picturesque Wesleyan campus, normally celebrating Spring Fling this week, is today an eerie ghost town. 10 students huddled in their dorm rooms, knowing the man who killed one of their own is still on the loose.
You can feel the vibration of the campus as fearful.
This has to be every parent's worst nightmare.
Even residents of the town have been encouraged to stay inside. Johanna Justin Jinnick was a bright, popular junior at Wesleyan.
But she is just, I don't know, very upbeat and always, having fun. I know she was, really excited about writing her thesis next year.
Police suspect 29-year-old Stephen Morgan, wearing a wig as a disguise, shot Justin Jinnick at her job in a bookstore and is now on the run. One of the reasons police are targeting Morgan is that he and the victim crossed paths a few years ago at a New York University summer program. It's unclear what happened in the years between, but experts say cases of stalking and harassment are notoriously difficult to follow, often until it's too late.
Unless the threat is very explicit, it's very difficult for the police to do much with it.
What initially appeared to be an isolated incident has spread fear throughout this community after police discovered the suspect's journal, which makes threatening remarks about this campus and the Jewish community. Justin Jinnick was Jewish, but what her killer's real motive is remains a mystery. His family is pleading for him to turn himself in.
Steve, turn yourself in right now to any law enforcement agency.
A synagogue near the school has been closed, and this tight-knit college town remains on edge. Stephanie Sy, ABC News, Middletown, Connecticut.
A sports note, one of baseball's biggest stars has been suspended for 50 games. It is Manny Ramirez of the Los Angeles Dodgers who has always denied drug use.
Has anyone ever approached you anytime during your career about using?
No.
You were never tempted?
No.
In announcing the suspension, Major League Baseball did not say what drug was involved. In a statement, Ramirez said he got the drug from his doctor, who thought it was legal. ESPN is reporting the drug was HCG, a women's fertility drug. ABC talked by phone with Dr. Louis Maharam at New York University about HCG.
It is banned because the only reason to use it is after using steroids, so it's sort of in the same little circle of drugs that people use to make themselves normal.
Ramirez is not contesting the suspension. He will lose over 30% of his $25 million salary. He'll be able to return to baseball around July 4th. And still ahead on World News, Elizabeth Edwards talks of her husband's affair and why she didn't give up on the marriage. The risky space mission to save the Hubble telescope, behind the scenes with the astronauts. And the 3-year-old boy, barely clothed and with no food, lost for days in a national forest. An extraordinary story of survival.
This is World News with Charles Gibson. Brought to you by Purina.
My name is Chef Michael, and my dog Bailey and I love to hang out in the kitchen so she can watch me cook. You just love the aromas of beef tenderloin and, oh, rotisserie chicken. Yes, you do. Yeah, you're so special, you deserve a very special dog food.
Introducing Chef Michael's Canine Creations, the deliciously different way to serve up your love at mealtime. Chef-inspired, dog-desired. New Chef Michael's Canine Creations.
Announcing the Ford Advantage Plan, a better plan to get you into a new, quality-built Ford, Lincoln, or Mercury. Today, while others say there's no credit available, Ford Credit says there is. Financing as low as 0% APR. Check for pre-approval now at Ford.com. And with the Ford Advantage, if you lose your paycheck, we'll make your payments for up to 12 months. Quality, credit, and payment protection. That's the Ford Advantage Plan. Visit your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
There's a big reason to lower high cholesterol. Dangerous plaque that can build up in arteries. It's called atherosclerosis, or athero, and high cholesterol is a major factor. But Crestor can help slow the buildup of plaque in arteries. Go to arterytour.com and take an interactive tour to learn how plaque builds up. And then ask your doctor if Crestor is right for you. Along with diet, Crestor does more than lower bad cholesterol and raise good. Crestor is proven to slow the buildup of plaque in arteries. Crestor isn't for everyone, like people with liver disease or women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Simple blood tests will check for liver problems. You should tell your doctor about other medicines you're taking, or if you have muscle pain or weakness, that could be a sign of serious side effects. Learn more about plaque buildup at arterytour.com. Then ask your doctor if it's time for Crestor.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
And in business, the stock market.
Excedrin PM relieves pain fast, plus a sleep aid to help you fall fast asleep. Excedrin. What ache?
Discover a smoothie like no other. New Activia Smoothies. Creamy, delicious, and above all, it contains Bifidus regularis and is clinically proven to help regulate your digestive system. New Activia Smoothies. Activia!
The wife of former presidential candidate John Edwards appeared on Oprah Winfrey's program today to talk for the first time about a painful chapter of her life, her husband's affair with a campaign videographer. Elizabeth Edwards spoke about her husband's deceptions and why she has stayed with him. Here's ABC's Kate Snow.
She's willing to relive a public humiliation, a memoir, and a sit-down with Oprah on one condition, that they would never use the name of the woman she clearly believes tried to steal her husband.
Women need to have more respect for other women. This is a life I have put together. It takes a lot of work to put together a marriage, to put together a family and a home, and you spend a lot of time trying to do that. You can't just say, oh, I like the way that looks, knock on the door, say, you're out, I'm in. You know, you can't do that.
Elizabeth Edwards told Oprah it was just 2 days into her husband's campaign for the presidency that he confessed to having a one-night stand.
My first thing to do was to ask, said, you need to get out of the campaign. He said, and truthfully, he was right, it was hard to argue with this, that if you wanted to raise a lot of questions, what you do is get out of a campaign you got into 2 days before.
By the time she and the world learned the full truth of the affair, the questions would be even more complicated.
The other woman has a baby.
I've seen a picture of the baby. I have no idea. It doesn't look like my children, but I don't have any idea.
But you could easily find out.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that it would be easy, but, you know, if somebody, you know, wants to go to the trouble of finding it, but it was not going to change my life in any way. If they discovered that it was, then, you know, that would be part of John's life, but it's not part of mine.
Was there a point where you thought that she would leave you?
I didn't know. I think the honest truth is I didn't know.
Were you afraid that she might?
Yeah. I mean, I love her. I care about her, so.
Elizabeth hasn't addressed why she wrote the book, was willing to reopen these wounds. She says she stayed in her marriage because nobody's perfect.
This is a really good man, you know, who really, you know, who did a very, very bad thing. But if you take that piece out, I do have a perfect marriage.
Elizabeth's terminal diagnosis played a part, too.
My life was going to be less long, and I didn't want to spend it fighting.
Kate Snow, ABC News, New York.
And still ahead, inside one of the most daring space missions ever, rare access to the astronauts preparing to save the Hubble telescope.
My grandkids are a great reason for me to keep my bones strong. But even with calcium, vitamin D, and exercise, I still got osteoporosis. I never thought I could do more than stop my bone loss. And then my doctor told me I could, with once monthly Boniva. Boniva works with your body to help stop and reverse bone loss. Studies show after 1 year on Boniva, 9 out of 10 women stopped and reversed their bone loss. I know I did.
Don't take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or can't sit or stand for at least 1 hour. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you have difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. If jaw problems or severe bone, joint, and/or muscle pain develop, tell your doctor.
I've got this one body and this one life, so I wanted to stop my bone loss, but I did more. I reversed it with Boniva. Ask your doctor if Boniva can help you stop losing and start reversing.
For a free trial offer, call 1-800-4-BONIVA.
This Mother's Day, celebrate all the moms you know with 30 gifts under $30 from our Every Mom Counts collection.
For all the moms that count in your life.
Call or click 1-800-Flowers.com today.
This is the AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan card. You know what's great about this card? Wherever you go, nationwide, your coverage travels with you. And that's just one of the many reasons you need the card you can trust. Because with AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plans, you can apply year-round, talk with personal health insurance advisors, and so much more. If you're turning 65 or older, or you've already enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan,
Call for this free information kit and Medicare guide. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP. These plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, help cover some of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare alone. This could save you thousands of dollars. Want your choice of doctors or hospitals, virtually no claim forms, and no referrals needed to see a specialist? Call for your free kit. Yep, this is one great card.
Discover a smoothie like no other. New Activia Smoothies. Creamy, delicious, and above all, it contains Bifidus regularis and is clinically proven to help regulate your digestive system. New Activia Smoothies. Activia!
Next Monday, the Space Shuttle Atlantis takes off on a long overdue and risky mission to repair the Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble has vastly expanded what we know about the universe, but its batteries, main camera, gyroscopes, they all need fixing. If anything goes wrong, the crew won't be anywhere near where they could be rescued. For a year, ABC News has been given extraordinary access to the crew's training for this rescue mission. And in coming nights, we're going to show it to you, starting tonight with ABC's Ned Potter.
9. Kennedy Space Center. A space shuttle roars to life. Main engine ignition. The commander is Scott Altman.
And boom, off the pad. 102, 102.
In fact, Altman isn't going anywhere today. He's in a simulator in Houston. And he has a complete amateur, me, as his co-pilot.
We just saw the launch tower disappear out that way. At 8 seconds, I see the roll, and I call roll program. Roger, roll.
Altman is rehearsing for one of NASA's most sensitive shuttle missions, the Hubble Rescue.
But we have a warning. A master alarm goes off. Flight control system has malfunctioned.
The mission is to be flown by the shuttle Atlantis, and we've been given special access to the astronauts as they count down.
There is literally a clock ticking.
Hubble has captured the sun.
The Hubble telescope is slowly dying, its batteries and gyroscopes in need of replacement.
And we see first motion. Looks good.
From orbit, the Hubble has taken some of the most spectacular pictures of the universe, even helped determine how old the universe is.
Every time we get a new discovery with Hubble, it's something that's just mind-bending. You just go, wow. 195-foot level.
John Grunsfeld is one of the crew's spacewalkers, along with Michael Good, Drew Feustel, and Mike Massimino, who shows us a notebook he kept as he trained.
Like, I've got a picture of the Hubble. I wasn't rendezvous trained, but I figured the least I could do is try to make sure we were at the right satellite. So I had a picture just to make sure we were in the right place.
So your feet are coming out.
But behind all the kidding is serious business. Fixing a $6 billion telescope is a little like doing brain surgery in hockey gloves.
Well?
And NASA says if the shuttle is damaged, the crew will be nowhere near the safe haven of the space station.
We would be stuck in the shuttle until someone could come rescue us. We don't have that much time.
So for the first time ever, a second shuttle is on the pad, ready to go if a rescue is needed.
We were shaking and rolling.
And for safety's sake, Scott Altman has been practicing launches in the simulator more than 100 times. Ned Potter, ABC News, Johnson Space Center, Houston.
Much more on this tomorrow and next week. The astronauts, by the way, will be blogging from space about their mission, and you'll be able to follow them at our blog, The World Newser, at abcnews.com. And still ahead, how a missing 3-year-old survived alone in a rugged national forest.
I've had asthma forever.
I've had asthma for as long as I can remember.
10 years.
I used to wonder why my medicine wouldn't help prevent
my symptoms from coming back.
I just figured it couldn't get any better.
And then I found out something I didn't know.
I found out there are 2 main causes of asthma symptoms. Airway constriction you feel, and inflammation you may not.
Most medicines don't treat both.
So, my doctor prescribed Advair. Advair treats both main causes to help prevent symptoms in the first place.
Advair contains salmeterol. Salmeterol may increase the chance of asthma-related death, so Advair is not for asthma that's well controlled on another controller medicine. Advair will not replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Talk to your doctor about the risks and benefits of Advair. If you take Advair, see your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
If you're still having symptoms, ask your doctor how to help prevent them with Advair.
Find out how to get your first full prescription free at Advair.com.
Advair. Now you know.
Not playing with the kids?
Not on these legs. Poor leg circulation. Doctor says it's PAD.
Peripheral artery disease?
more than doubles your risk for a heart attack or stroke.
So I hear.
Better ask your doctor about Plavix. Plavix can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke. Plavix helps keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, the cause of most heart attacks and strokes.
My cousin, the MD.
Call your doctor about Plavix.
If you have a stomach ulcer or other condition that causes bleeding, you should not use Plavix. When taking Plavix alone or with some other medicines, including aspirin, the risk of bleeding may increase. So tell your doctor before planning surgery. And always talk to your doctor before taking aspirin or other medicines with Plavix, especially if you've had a stroke. If you develop fever, unexplained weakness, or confusion, tell your doctor promptly, as these may be signs of a rare but potentially life-threatening condition called TTP, which has been reported rarely, sometimes in less than 2 weeks after starting therapy. Other rare but serious side effects may occur.
Can't stop weeding? Then apply Preen for gardens. In just one application, Preen prevents weeds for 3 months. Stop weeds with Preen. Preen works, so you don't have to.
FTD's worldwide network of florists have been creating beautiful arrangements for nearly 100 years. Trust your most important occasions to the flower experts at FTD. Whether you're sending flowers around the corner or around the world, visit us at ftd.com.
Well, I was a bloody mess.
K2 wants to know why a pit bull is allowed to stay where it was after a local man says he and his service dog were attacked.
Plus, how in the world did a missing autistic girl from Vancouver end up more than 100 miles away, just minutes away?
She miraculously survived being shot in the face by her husband. Now, tomorrow, the first American to go through a face transplant tells her unbelievable story to Diane Sawyer.
When you looked in the mirror, what did you see?
The Face of Courage on Good Morning America. And go to abcnews.com, click GMA for an exclusive preview of this remarkable woman's story.
Finally tonight, the story of a 3-year-old boy who disappeared from his home Monday. For over 2 days, he was missing in the Missouri wilderness in a national forest filled with lakes and caves, snakes, bears, and mountain lions. Just 3 years old. His story is a little bit of a miracle. Here's Barbara Pinto.
He's scratched up and exhausted, but otherwise fine. 3-year-old Joshua Childers' amazing luck is the source of his father's incredible joy.
Anybody that's got a kid, all I want to say is, Don't take 1 minute and waste it.
On Monday afternoon, Joshua unlocked the deadbolt on the back door and slipped outside, wearing only a T-shirt, sneakers, and a diaper.
The dad works nights. He was sleeping and Mom was on the phone.
Little Joshua wandered 3 miles from home, losing his sneaker and his diaper along the way. It was late Wednesday, 52 hours into a massive search, when a volunteer spotted Joshua's bare bottom.
Went over there and said, "Hey, bud," and he just sat right up. "You want to go home?" He said, "Yeah," and he put his arms up, and I got him and carried him down the hill.
So how does a 35-pound toddler wearing practically nothing survive 2 days and 2 40-degree nights alone in the woods?
The world looks very much different to a 3-year-old than it does to older people, adults and whatnot. And so the things that we might know to be afraid of, it's quite possible that he at that age was not afraid of those things.
Joshua told his grandmother he was walking to her house 5 miles away.
I asked him if he crossed those creeks, and he said did it.
I don't know how he did it. I don't know grown men that could do it. But all I can say is he's a tough little bugger.
For days, all anyone has wanted was Joshua's safe return. Now, Joshua's wishes are far simpler: hot dogs and milk. Barbara Pinto, ABC News, Chicago.
Tough little guy indeed. And that's World News for this Thursday. I'm Charlie Gibson, and I hope you had a good day. For all of us at ABC News, have a good night.
Michael J. Fox has faced life's toughest challenge.
19 years ago, I woke up with a twitching left pinky finger.
Now he's bringing inspirational stories to an ABC primetime special. Michael J. Fox, Adventures of an Incurable Optimist, tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Cutting down on criminal supervision to save money.
Any type of change will definitely change people's behaviors.
K2 wants to know which criminals will have to check in less. A missing teen found more than 100 miles from home.
I was happy, just to know that she was alive.
How police found the autistic girl in Tacoma.
Coming up, we'll show you a place where you can drop what you don't need, take what you do need, all for next to nothing.
Live at 6, this is K2 News on your side.
First on 2, an On Your Side investigation. Just days ago, the On Your Side investigators revealed Portland's mayor has a credibility problem with lawmakers in Salem.
It could cost the city when it comes to important issues, and now there are new questions about Sam